You're listening to Digging, a new podcast where we dig into the heads of creators. My name's Sam Griffiths. I'm a songwriter for the band The Howl and the Hum. In this series, I'm interested in the spark, the very beginning of inspiration for an artist. Where it comes from, what you do with it, and where you go with it. We'll start with musicians and songwriters, expand to artists, poets and writers, and see where it takes us. In this episode, I'm talking to Tom Beer from the York band Bull. Tom is, in my opinion, one of the best songwriters working today in UK pop music, guitar music, everything like that. And I might just be saying that because he's one of my closest friends, but I genuinely think his ear for melody is one of the best that I've ever heard. And he writes really beautiful songs that I have attempted to play several times and never quite managed to make sound as good as he does. So yeah, in this episode we talk about theft, about early writing, about the return of mosh pits, and how Tom finds it easiest to write imagining a band, coming up with a band out of nowhere, and then naming them, coming up with a music video idea for them, and then writing a song as if you were them. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode. There are some naughty words, naughty bits. There's some naughty bits. So here is the song to warn you of that. Sorry again. If anyone is listening to this podcast that we made, if anyone is listening and they might be underage, then please be aware that there are some naughty words. If you don't know them now, you will by the end.
Yeah.
Go. Right, and we'll do a little clap when I'm about to... No, we'll do a clap in a sec.
Okay.
Sorry.
It is definitely recording, and yeah, it's good.
Okay, wicked. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
Nice.
I went early, I think. Or maybe we did the same time, but I heard your lag. That would have been it.
I think that... I'll match them up, don't worry, man. I'm getting really good at this.
Okay, good.
We've started. I'm going to keep all this.
Yeah, keep all this. This is good.
This is gold. How are you, man?
I'm well, yeah. I'm pretty good.
So you're in Scarborough, right?
I'm in Scarborough by the sea, yeah.
Do you find being close to the sea inspirational in any way? I know quite a lot of artists that live near the sea.
I do, yeah. I think I do.
What is it, do you reckon?
Well, it's just so big, isn't it? And bottomless. Well, you can't see the bottom of it. You can't really... It lets the imagination go off a bit.
Yeah, I like that. Obviously, anyone listening to this won't be able to tell, but I'm watching you now stare into the ocean. I'm
looking at it. Yeah, it looks
like
great.
A character in a Hemingway novel.
That's right.
You're taking us closer to it. Oh wow! Now I can see it. Okay, this isn't great content for a podcast, but I love it. I love being able to see the sea. I realised recently that Leeds is like one of the most landlocked places in the UK. The closest I've got is like the canal where I run every day, but otherwise I'm just quite jealous of your little ocean there.
Yeah, you're kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I'm bang in the middle. But the fish and chips are really good here. I can't explain it.
The pizza's good as well, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't swim.
And that Thai restaurant we went to.
Thyroid.
Yeah,
Big shout out to Thyroid. I'm gonna dive straight in to your ocean.
Yes,
that doesn't make any sense. But
dip a toe in, the water's fine.
Okay. Here's a big toe. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what compelled you to write your first song? And do you remember your first song?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it was my exact first one. I listened to your podcast with Amy Ellis, and I thought it made me think about this. Funnily enough, the first one I wrote, well, definitely the first one that was like finished. I probably wrote loads of stuff before, but it's all lost. But the first one I remembered, and I recorded it as well. I was a complete rip-off. Like a shameless steal, and I felt really guilty about it, of a song by Luke Saxton, funnily enough.
Really?
Before I knew him, I went to an old venue in York, which isn't there anymore, called The Junction, which I used to go to a lot with my friend's mum and my friend, and we'd watch the bands there, and one of them was Luke Saxton when he was like 13 or something.
Yeah, Luke Sexton is a friend of ours, by the way, from York.
Yeah.
Who I imagine I will get on this podcast at some point because he writes
You should.
really beautiful, sort of like 60s and 70s inspired songs, right?
Yeah,
I get the impression he's listened to a lot of Harry Nilsson. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, but when this song that I stole from him, or at least it was just the chorus, he didn't used to write like that. At that time, he was writing kind of in the style. I don't know if he would like me to say this, but I don't know, kind of like it was like American rock.
That's allowed.
Yeah, it was great. And he sent me the recording of it. But anyway, I just stole the chorus. I didn't steal the whole thing. And the chorus said, "All your time is running out. All your time is running out." And that was it.
That's good, like the Muse song.
No.
No, okay. Cool.
Well, it didn't sound like that one. But it was good. It was a good song. And I just took the chorus and then I wrote it. It was all about a guy who, because of that lyric, "All your time is running out." And then I thought, okay, what can I write about? And then I've never stole a song like this since, I don't think, but I just took it. And it was about a guy who was regretting not doing anything with his life and all the time he spent playing PlayStation.
I mean, it might be about PlayStations, but it's surprisingly deep for a person. How old did you say you were? 13.
I was probably about 13 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. People, I think this
maybe
is quite a common
younger,
theme.
12.
It's quite a common theme. Like when you're young, the first song that you try to write is usually surprisingly philosophical, deep, wide, expansive, which I love. It's like people are really aiming for the stars. It's like, I'm going to write my first song. It's going to be about the universe. It's going to be about existentialism. It's going to be about this guy trapped inside his own life. It's like, you're 12 years old. Yeah,
but I obviously had a lot of feelings about how I wanted to spend my life and how I didn't.
Yeah, and PlayStation,
I thought was a waste of time.
Were you like the 12-year-old who was looking down at the PlayStation controller in his hand going, "What am I doing?"
Yeah, that was me. That's why I wrote the song.
What have I done?
It was a good track.
That does sound good. So do you ever find yourself, and we can say this with no hint of law allegations or anything like that, there's no one coming after you, do you find yourself stealing at all? Is theft all right?
Yeah, I don't know if somebody said this, but like, I thought about it recently. It's like, I think it's a quote. They said like, great artists, some artists borrow, great artists steal. And it's like,
Elvis Costello. I think
did Elvis Costello say that?
He says something very close to that.
It was better than that, probably what he said, but I think it's true. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's no one owns chords, no one owns anything. I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So why
I think,
not?
Obviously, if you start taking complete sections out and like,
it might not be good if you do that. I don't think it would be good, but
yeah, that's a good point. The song would be rubbish. The song would be theft. Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's the reason not to do it more than. Yeah, I don't feel like it's
more than the moral obligation.
I don't think it's morally wrong. Yeah, the song wouldn't be good. Yeah, but it's a nice. Yeah, I thought about this firstly because my friend in Can Shake a Pie, he just saw an album cover that he liked and just took it. And the album cover is an album cover that he saw in a shop.
Right.
He just took a picture of it and then used it.
I mean, that is, I guess,
great
that
album
is
cover.
like, I think Can Shake a Pie can sort of get away with that because that's really funny. Or like Blacklisters have that song.
Club Foot by Kasabian.
Yeah, Club Foot by Kasabian, which I think is a brilliant name for a song. So sometimes, it's almost like a marketing ploy. They're monetizing theft. Yeah,
why not?
Genius. They're clever people.
But I do think go for it. But the best things are probably original.
Yeah, we're not endorsing people stealing. When you say go for it, you don't literally mean to any aspiring songwriters out there. Don't literally go out there and start singing Wonderwall, claiming it's your own.
Yeah, that's wrong.
There's definitely something to be said for utilising previously
It's made me think
stuff
there is one more thing that I did steal, actually.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
I don't mean for this to turn into a confession.
Yeah, well, it is.
Okay.
So you know my song "Bitch."
Yeah, great song.
It says the chorus line is "Who is the bitch? It's not me," which is kind of.
I know this story, but carry on. So it's a familiar confession, but yeah.
I just stole that clean out of James Barton's band, The Standbys. I just thought it was really good, so I just took it. So, but we don't play it anymore because. I have done some things I think by myself, but maybe not. Maybe it's all just stuff I've heard before.
I stole. Well, I thought I stole it off The Lungs. The opening
which one?
Melody of God Manchester.
But I've got a theory about this.
Where it goes, back when you weren't successful. There's a bit in a Lung song that goes, I'm sick, tired, down.
Yeah, but do you know where it all comes from?
Yeah, I do know where it all comes from. It comes from that Leonard Cohen
Leonard
song.
Cohen! It's that song by Leonard Cohen.
Is it Famous Blue Raincoat?
No, it's
Down
with the lock of your hair.
Yeah. Famous Blue Raincoat.
Is it Famous Blue Raincoat?
Yeah.
So
we've both stolen. But
I told that to Theo
stolen through proxy. Yeah.
Yeah. Theo's like,
order of me.
Theo's saying like, "Oh God, my Chinese brace just ripped off the lungs." I was like, "Yeah, but it's Leonard Cohen first."
There you go. So who's really in trouble?
I think. Well, this is it. I don't think anyone's in trouble. I think they're all good songs and they're all about different things. And you all play the guitar. Like,
I wouldn't say it was done intentionally. It was.
You all use paintbrushes to paint.
Yeah.
Wow. What? You know what I mean?
Here we go.
You all, yeah. You want to talk about art?
I'll give you art. Sit down.
Yeah, paintbrushes. Nothing's more arty than that. Come on.
That's really true.
That's what that's what they teach in school.
Do you find you have to be in a certain mindset to start writing, to create anything?
Do you have to be in a certain mindset? Well, I can write something anytime, but it's like whether it's going to be good or not. I think it'll be better if I have got something to write about, like something's happened to me, or I've got some emotions kicking away. Sorry, what was the question?
Do you have to be in a certain mindset to create? You were answering it, it's fine.
Do you have to be in a certain mindset? I quite like to get out of any mindset as well. So, if you actually you go into that trancey state.
Yeah, it's a conscious state, I think. That bit, I think writing or creating in any way, the best stuff usually comes from when you have managed to switch your brain off completely.
Yeah.
When you don't know you're doing it anymore.
That's interesting. That's what I've been doing recently, actually, by accident, is that I've been waking up at 4 a.m. Always 4 a.m, and I'm like, I've just had an interesting dream, usually. And then I wake up and my brain's like in this very specific state. And that helps me write. And then I usually think, oh, my brain's in that state, I might as well write some stuff down.
Yeah, I find very early mornings are the best time to write for me. It's as soon as I wake up, you're right. Yeah, because as soon as it gets, or super late, but as soon as it gets to a certain point in the day when I realise I've expended energy trying to work around this idea or trying to come up with something, that my brain is just sort of fighting against me, and you realise you're thinking, I give up, and I go watch TV or I go make tea or something like that. First thing in the morning when there's just nothing, when it's like you're a new person every day. And this new person is just I got a song to write. Yeah. I find that really interesting. It's sort of like a very fresh, virginate person is trying to write, like innocent and chaste. Yeah. It's almost like a religious new day or something. Yeah, that's really weird. Why do you think it's 4 a.m?
I don't know. I think it might be when it's just starting to get light, so that I wake up from my dream. And then I've been having interesting dreams recently anyway. But when I wake up and I'm like that and my mind's racing a little bit, not straight away. Like straight away, I wake up and I'm like, kind of like, I know I'm awake and I'm still thinking about this dream. It's like, and then I start thinking about things with a lot more clarity than I would usually think about it, and I start thinking of little phrases and words to live by, or try and make them at least. I sometimes try and make them in the day, and they're not as good, you know. Like if I try and,
so like quite large philosophical ideas almost.
Yeah, or, you know, like trying to make sense of like big problems or questions that I have. Yeah,
sick. The 4 a.m. God talk.
Yeah,
wow,
it's heavy, man.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that comes at like, I don't know if a lot of people necessarily relate that time in the morning to creative. It's sort of like the witching hour, isn't it? No one really knows what's going on. It's like the dark ages. But
Yeah.
I love the idea that that's like a creative time. Do you enjoy writing?
Yes, when it's fun, but not when it's not fun.
Yeah.
This is a crap answer, but it's like
No, I know, but it's not, because you're completely right. There sort of isn't an answer.
I did the other night when I woke up. I wrote a rap, and it's not about anything. It's just funny words, really. But then it suddenly starts being about something, and I'm like, whoa, and like, and I enjoy that, and I enjoy trying to wrestle it out and be like, oh crap, now I've got to write it down, and it's like it's hard. It's like a bit of a fight.
Yeah, you're describing it as like wrestling and fighting. It is like this conflict within yourself, but I think that conflict can be quite cathartic as well, can't it? It can be quite healing.
When you finish it, it's like, woohoo! Fuck, I did that. I'm happy about that. Yeah, but at the time, it's it can be. But then sometimes I'm writing and I'm just I can get very dark, depressed, and like, you know, just writing horrible shit, and I'm like, oh god, this is horrible. This is so bleak and terrible, and I don't really. But then if I write something that's bleak, but I actually agree with it, or it is something that I think, then it makes me feel better afterwards, and I usually feel better than when I felt before, which is good.
I think David Lynch said something like, you can never write when you're unhappy, but you can write unhappy things when you're happy. Which I always found an interesting way to go about it, is if when you're having a depressive episode, you never allow your subconscious to take over. You're always so conscious of how upset you are. That is what being sad is. But if you are in a positive mind space, then you can at least grapple with the previous unhappy thoughts you had and translate them into art. Which I always thought was an interesting idea. But also that dude practiced transcendental meditation for like an hour and a half a day. So
and he's got good hair.
He's got amazing hair. Good ideas as well. But that dude meditates, and then like, well, he's got this really good book called Reeling the Big Fish, which is how he describes transcendental meditation. So like, if you need the big fish, you gotta really learn to meditate. You gotta like knuckle down with your rod, take some sandwiches. You're gonna be there for a while, and then that's how he gets. And then like and then one day I was just like, I had this idea of just finding an ear in a field, and then I wrote Blue Velvet, man.
What?
Like, yeah, yeah.
That's great. Blue Velvet. Is there an ear in a field of Blue Velvet?
Yeah, that's how the main character Jeffrey finds an ear in a field, a severed ear.
I've seen it, but I don't remember that.
Yeah. You are you struggling to create at all during isolation? How are you finding quarantine?
Well, I've been writing a lot of stuff down, but I'm not really sure how many songs I've written that I can actually, because you know, I don't know if it's the same for you, but if I write a song and it's finished and it's like, boom, I just got one, like, you know, you got one. Then that's how I usually do it, and I usually don't really bother doing it if it's not going to be like that. Like, if it's not just going to be like, okay, this one's obviously coming fast and like I've got it, then I don't tend to persevere or even really practice. But that's probably why I haven't written very many songs, because because I don't really do that much writing. So it's been great because I feel like I'm getting better because I am practicing, but it's not necessarily that I'm actually really finishing much. But I've written a lot of stuff down. I've probably written like one song, which is actually a song.
Yeah, I've only written one. I've got loads of starts to ideas, and like I'm doing loads of little production-y bits, but I've only actually really written one song. Or like I've got some other bits that are probably a whole song, but they're just not very good.
Yeah. I could easily make a song out of loads of this stuff. Yeah. But why?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly. I get a bit like annoyed at myself sometimes if I haven't finished something, but then I don't know. You're right. I think it's good to see it as productive, seeing that time as like it's all leading towards something.
That's right. Yeah,
it's constructive. I think that's definitely a good idea.
What I have been doing is trying to learn more covers and stuff that I like to do. Yeah, just to kind of not really to try and just because I enjoy it really, like I used to, and I haven't really. This is the most time alone I've had since I was a kid. I'm sure it's probably the same for most people, and it's good. Like it's because I'm usually quite a flitty around guy. Like I'm always like a bit kind of up in the air. There's too much going on. Like I've got cut. What's the thing they used to say in school to me? I can't remember. Too many somethings.
Is that what they used to call you?
Yeah, too many somethings.
Man, that guy's got too many.
Yeah, too many times. No, just spreading myself too thin. I used to get accused of that. So it's been nice to not do that, and to, I've just been playing songs that I like, and I think it's going to probably make me a better singer and a better guitar player and a better musician, because I wouldn't have done this otherwise.
Great.
But I'm really missing playing music with other people.
Yeah.
I really miss that. Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's so much funner when you're doing it together, and it's like, man.
Yeah. I found playing live is like the release. If you can be inside writing and being able to express yourself in whatever way you find comfortable, the actual going outside. It doesn't
pay off until you get to do it.
It's the payoff, exactly. It's what everything is leading towards. Yeah. And now we don't have that. Either that or it's not for another year. And it's such a strange idea that we're not going to be able to sort of like release this amount of energy that we all have. Either that or the gigs are going to be fucking mental when we go back.
I think the gigs are going to be really good, man.
Like parades going through the streets, and like it's like all on the way to one gig at like the Brood now. Like 400 elephants, like people skydive in for a support slet.
Oh, 100%.
Stuff like that. Man, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. That's what we've got planned for our first show anyway.
I think mosh pits are going to come back in a big way.
I think you're right, yeah.
Like more than they ever have. Like,
yeah, you're right.
And people are going to dance so much more. I've been really itching to dance.
I did some dancing yesterday for one of our live streams, which was one of the
I watched some of that
experiences. Oh man, that felt
sounded good.
But I was out of breath. I haven't danced in a good while. I need to get my dance stamina up. Turns out dance stamina is a thing.
Well, you know what I've been doing for that? I've been singing a bit while I run.
That's a good idea. That's what Pink does.
Is it?
I don't know why I know that. Yeah. I remember hearing an interview with Pink from like 2006 or something. She's like, just every day I go out, I run 50 minutes, and I always sing when I run. That's why I can do what I do on stage, because I just run every day and I'm just singing all the time. It's crazy.
She's great.
It was like an interview with Chris Moyles. I don't know why that stuck with me, but there you go.
I thought it might have been in Kerrang magazine,
which I had a subscription to.
Did you actually?
Yeah, I used to love Kerrang. I wasn't an NME kid.
I was NME all the way. I used to get the odd Kerrang if there was somebody I liked on the front.
I was a bit of like a gothy emo kid.
I dabbled, but I couldn't. Yeah, you were definitely more.
Yeah, I was smelly and weird.
You weren't smelly.
Oh, I still smell a little bit.
Yeah, me too. From time to time.
You were talking earlier about dreams, like you having dreams and possibly translating those into songs or ideas. How do your ideas usually appear to you? Are they lyrical or are they dreams? Are they musical? Are they like music parts, different instruments?
Well, it's been a bit of all of those, really, to be honest. I've had one recently where I was telling you about this before, but for the benefit of the listeners, I'll tell it again. I've got a new way of doing it, which is that I imagine a band, and I can see the whole band. I can see every member of the band and what they're wearing, which is important for some reason. and how they look, and their attitude is probably the most important thing. And then I just write their first song in a set. So they say, "Hi, we're this band. This song's called the name of the song," and then I can just hear it, and I'm like, right, that's an easy way of making a song.
I have heard this idea before, and I think it's so brilliant. But you came up with a really good name the other day, didn't you?
Well, the first one I came up with was just Sunbed. The name of the band, Sunbed, yeah.
And
the song's called Yeah.
Of what they look like.
Okay, so they all look like, oh man, they're so cool. They all wear shades. They all look a bit like one of the guys out of the Rock on Turd. I mean, to be honest, they look like the Velvet Underground meets Brian Jonestown Massacre, but they're kind of hippie, but they're not. They're just like the right side of hippie versus.
Yeah.
I
get like a little bit of Motown in there almost like a Roy Orbison-y Motown.
Yeah, definitely.
There's that element of them.
Yeah, and they're really cool. I can see that, the Roy Orbison.
And what's their opening song called?
Their opening song is just called Yeah.
So they say, okay, at the start of their set, can you perform that for them, please?
They just say, like, "Hi, we're Sunbed. This song's called Yeah," and then they just start playing, and that that one goes like, and I can usually picture videos for songs quite easily as well. Yeah, which is I could probably do it like that. Think of a video and then write a song for that. That would be cool.
I think it's such a great way to write a song. It's like it almost puts you.
It takes the pressure off the lyrics as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
But also the lyrics can just come if the idea is right. The lyrics will just come.
Yeah, well, just the feeling of it. You just have to chase that. Like, what the words have to make you feel like that, and that's the only thing you need to do. Yeah, but yeah, exactly. I've been struggling to write lyrics for that song, but I've got a riff for it. What was the question?
The question I can't remember how we got there. How do your ideas appear to you?
Right, yeah, so that's a way it can. And then sometimes it'll be a riff. I'll just think of a riff and it'll make me feel a certain way, and I'll start writing stuff about how I'm feeling or about something that's happened or some relationship or some. So it is a lot about. I like to try and sum it up. I like to try and I want it to have a point usually. I usually want it to have like quite a neat little.
Almost like a punchline.
Yeah. But I've been thinking about that recently and thinking maybe I should abandon that because maybe it doesn't need that. But then,
there's no one way to write a song, is there?
That's part of the skill.
I know completely what you mean about wanting to tie it. You want it to tie it up. You want it to be like a whole package. But
that's
also,
right.
It's sometimes so beautiful to never be able to have an answer to a song. If a song is asking a question, you don't necessarily have to have an answer. It's like, the answer is like blowing in the wind, like Dylan said, or the answer is just like all the New Order lyrics are just sort of about nothing. Yeah, and they never really tie each other up, and they could just be like, it could just be someone speaking.
Most of my favourite songs are like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. It's like it's a weird beauty that you can't put your finger on.
Yeah.
I love not being able to explain how you like something. Like for some reason, the last verse of Tambourine Man just gets me every single time, and I've no idea why. It's like it's the poetry isn't.
It's just sounds
isn't better. Yeah, it's just the sound. It's kind of the sound of it and the feeling it gives me, but I've never been able to describe why.
It's mad, that isn't it? That verse.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
He's got a lot of those, Bob Dylan.
He's good at it, isn't he?
Yeah.
We were just saying yesterday.
He can do it every way, though. He can write.
Are you still praying that he doesn't die?
I've not done it, but I'm considering doing it.
Considering prayer.
I've not prayed since I was forced to do it in school. But I'm thinking about praying that Bob Dylan doesn't die.
Doesn't get coronavirus.
Because I just think he's the man, you know? He's the best.
He is the man. And those new songs that he's released are the tits.
Yeah, I really like them. They're
as the critics say. Yeah. The critics from the New York Times have been saying tits. And
what's the one that Brad says, which is pretty funny? Connor's hit the cock on the bell end.
Cock on the bell end.
I like that one.
Yeah, man. It's absolutely cock on the bell end.
Yeah, he's hit the cock on the bell end with that one.
That's what Bob Dylan did with songwriting. He absolutely nails it every time. He always hits the cock on the bell end.
Yeah.
Apologies to our younger listeners.
Yeah, he'll be alright.
That was Tom Beer from the York-based band Bull. Just type them into Spotify, type them into Facebook, type them into all the normal social media engines. At some point we might get around to actually tagging people in these podcast things. We might have already done it. I'm not very good at the organisational side of this, but go check them out. Please go and check out all the artists that we're talking to over these podcast episodes. I think they're all class. That's why I've asked them to be on this podcast and talk about how they create and why they create and how they do it. La la la. In the next couple of sessions, I'm going to be talking to some artists. If anyone has any recommendations for people that they think we should talk to as well, those would be very much appreciated. But yeah, we've got quite a few to get through over the next few weeks, and I've got fucking loads of time, it turns out. So yeah, until next time, thanks so much everyone for listening. We are appreciating all your feedback, and we hope this is helping in some way. We hope it's making anyone even remotely mindful or aware that you don't necessarily have to be the most productive in this time, but that it is an escape from our currently very strange situation, which it looks like is sort of open to change at the moment. So yeah, thanks for listening everyone, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.